exactly?
Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. This is FCT Brief. We're still staying with our reflection on the life and legacy of Nigeria's former president, Muhammadu Buhari, who passed away a few days ago. Among the issues that defined his leadership and public discourse was youth involvement in politics. We'll take a closer look at how the Buhari era shaped the political aspirations of young Nigerians. Muhammadu Buhari's political journey spanned decades, from military ruler in 1983 to a democratically elected president in 2015. Yet, one recurring question throughout his tenure was the role of young people in shaping Nigeria's future. During his presidency, Buhari signed the historic Not Too Young to Run bill in 2018, a law that lowered the age requirement for elective positions. The move was widely celebrated as a major milestone for youth political inclusion.
The law sparked a surge in youth participation, with more young candidates contesting local and national elections. However, critics argued that systemic barriers such as high campaign costs and entrenched political structures limited real impact. Political analysts note that while President Buhari opened the door for youth involvement, translating inclusion into actual power remains an unfinished task. As the nation mounts a former president, his legacy on youth engagement in politics stands as a reminder of both progress made and challenges ahead. While President Buhari's era witnessed a legislative breakthrough for young Nigerians, the journey toward meaningful political representation continues. For more on this development, let's bring in an APC youth advocate, Umar Jijiwa, who is live in the studio with us. Nice to have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's go this way. The late President Muhammadu Buhari is said to have this cult followership, especially among the young, the youth and the talakawas. Now he is no more. What do you think will become of this political structure he has always carried with him, this young population?
Well, first of all, we have to pay our condolences to his family, his supporters, and those people that are physically touched by his loss. But when we come to politics, I mean, the President Buhari was brought into power by young people. If you look at the 2015 election, youths were the people that stood up and said that this man had to take it. They're the ones that fought for him. They're the ones that pushed for him. I mean, they were not even ready to listen to anybody else. And for what will happen now that he is gone, there's a vacuum. There's a vacuum that needs to be filled, but it cannot be filled because we can never find another Muhammad Buhari. It's not possible. We can have somebody else that might be able to do a little of what he did, but Buhari was a phenomenon. He was colossal. He was an era. Buhari was an era. I mean, in 2015, I remember clearly, I was not in support of President Buhari at that time. But when I saw my peers, and I saw that I could not even be around them, unless if I also supported the candidacy of President Buhari, I had no choice. I had to just quickly join in line and move in to the APC and supported the president. And we thank God, here we are.
Well, President Buhari signed the Not Too Young to Run Act, which many saw as a major win for young Nigerians. But beyond the hype, did this law really open doors for the youth population in politics, or it was more symbolic than practical?
Yes, we are not too young to run. But the issue is that we are too broke to run. As long as there is that financial aspect of politics, we can't afford it. Tell me today, which young man can be able to buy a form of 100 million naira to run for president? Unless, of course, if the Not Too Young to Run bill was for smaller offices, and maybe for us to be able to just participate, perhaps run in elections in smaller parties, lose out, eventually grow up and then join the bigger parties and move into what we need to do. But as long as we don't create a specific distinction for young people, it's still going to be out of our hands. Yes, I think we can go ahead by making it a bit cheaper for young people. We can make certain positions only available to people that are of a certain age and below, such as councillors. We pushed for this thing in 20. We tried to go to the National Assembly and nobody wanted to listen to us. Even when we tried to approach some state governors, we didn't have any traction at all. But, I mean, legally we can run, financially we can't.
Okay, let me a bit disagree with you on that, with this question I want to pose to you. Politics, presidency, governorship is not a buffet. You just go there and you want to pick whatever you want to eat. The law is already there, and if you say the young people are not that rich to buy the tickets, they have the population. Can the young people also think about it now? If we cannot purchase the ticket, we can use our political strength, our numbers, to determine whoever purchases the ticket, whether he's qualified. We can use our votes to vote against such a person. Why is it difficult for the youth to use such influence at the end of the day?
You know, in a right society, we should be thinking like that. In a right society. In theory, it should be like that. But the issue that we're having when it comes to the youth is that we have been marginalized and we have been divided into different political leanings. You see, everything in this country is politically related. And if it is not politically related, I'm sure it will definitely be politically appreciated. Because young people are unable to even come together and stay on a course for an extended amount of time and not lose control of that thing.
So whose fault is that?
Our fault. This is our fault. We need to do better. And maybe when we educate the youths more about their responsibilities when it comes to taking action, their responsibilities in choosing leaders, their responsibility in querying the person that comes and says he wants to lead them, perhaps at that time we can be able to move on. But as it is now, we cannot lie to ourselves. That is the truth. We are divided as young people. Today, I posted that I was coming here to speak, and other young people like me started attacking me because I support the president, because they don't support the president. So some people support somebody else and somebody else. So you see, we cannot all be in the same group. But our hope is that we can be able to educate more youths and drag them into our own beliefs, because we are not going to change our own beliefs. We are not going to change our own interests, because we believe in the role that we're playing. We believe in the people that we want to follow. We believe in the leadership that we have now, and we are hoping that we can be able to convince them too to believe in the same leadership, so that we can come in and be able to be united.
You spoke about the youth being financially constrained and also being divided in terms of, pushing a cause. And back in 2018, former President Buhari also was quoted to say many Nigerian youths are lazy, a comment that sparked outrage at the time. Do you think that this showed him as being out of touch with the realities of the youth in terms of their hustle and bustle and their daily life? I know a lot of Nigerians, found it hard at that time, especially the youths, and you have just confirmed that.
Now, that's a very, very serious issue, and that was a very, very serious statement, because a lot of youths took exception to that. They did not like it. But the way I saw it, I might not be in the same fold with other young people, is that the president was not directly connected to what the youths were really into. And it showed that he did not pay as much attention as he needed to pay for the youths, because the youths are not lazy. The youths are the engine block, the brain box of everything that is good in this country. When you go to the National Assembly, most of their legislative aides, those people that write things for them, they are young people. When you go into government, you can have a DG, but it's still a young person like me that goes and sits down and draws this thing up on a laptop and puts it together and do all these things and bring it for them to present it to the people. Everybody that has an office has a technical assistant. Most of them are youths. So the youths are not lazy. Perhaps at that time, we might not have understood what he said, or maybe he didn't understand what we meant. But we are not lazy. We took exception to that. But I mean, he's a human being. He can make mistakes, but I don't hold him for that. We forgive him for all that.
Okay, for him to have made such a statement, he must have had his own reasons. And let's look at it this other way. If you look at the bill that has become an act, not too young to rule, and you see people that are leading some other political parties, a lot of them are young people.
Yes.
Now, instead of putting their strength together in some party that are bigger party and enforce changes through those parties, the youths are so comfortable to become the presidential candidate of a political party without the necessary ground soldiers that can help them win any election. So at the end of the day, don't you think, rather than go for political position, it's better we educate, the youth educate themselves how to really drive change through the legislation and through using their numbers?
First of all, there's an issue that we need to solve. And the first issue is that, who is a youth? Let us even understand that first. When we understand who is a youth, then we can go into this one, because we don't know who is a youth. But I define a youth as a person that is in his productive years. That's how I see a youth. And yes, I said it earlier, youths can be presidential candidates, but that doesn't mean they can win. Because politics, at the end of the day, has to do with logistics, has to do with mobilization. How many young people have the funds or the resources to do so? There are not so many. Apart from that, politics, from what we have learned and what we have seen in the past, is that it takes time sometimes. You see, people build followings, build an ideology, and before you know it, they get somewhere. We have to be a bit patient. I, for one, I don't believe that somebody like me should be the president of this country. I am not ready. But what we are asking is youth inclusion, for an opportunity to be allowed in to the system, into some of these lower seats. Let us learn from people that are there, so that when we take it, we can have the smartest youth, and he can be the president. But without the relevant experience, he might not do much. We've seen it. Well, we've seen the president of this country, Asiwaju, sometimes, staying back, not taking an action on something because of his experience. He knows how that thing will end. And youths, we have to be able to control our emotions. We have to. Everything that we start, we don't finish. And that's the truth. During Buhari's time, we had NSAS. We lost control of NSAS after some time. I was the FCT chairman of the Youth Congress here in FCT as of that time. I was the only youth leader that came out on TV and spoke. No other youth leader was ready to do so. When I called them to do so, they told me they were not going to do it. It was too risky for them. But I had to do it, putting my life on the line. But I said it. As long as we keep youths in a certain place for an extended amount of time, we are going to lose control. And we did. We did. Yes, NSAS will have been attributed to the fact that ASU was on strike, and if those students were in school, it would not have gained traction. So you see, we have to go back into the system and understand these things. We have to. Because youths, we need to start to understand what we want and where we are going with this. Because today, a youth is complaining. Or you're asking, what do you want? He doesn't know. I've seen this. We've engaged with them. We created the Youth Jagabani Network so that we can be able to communicate with young people on behalf of the president as of that time, when he was a candidate, so that we can be able to sell him. And we understood that, okay, they complain, and some of these complaints that we make is just like repeating something they heard from somewhere. It's not really them. So when we say, okay, look, let's talk. What do we do? At that point, you hear everybody is silent. But when we say, what is the problem? We are this, we are that. We have to be realistic.
Well, I like the angle of the NSAS you brought in, but we'll dwell more on that when we come back from this short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Let's pay some dues. We'll be right back.
Our major currency unit is the Naira, while the minor unit is the Kobo. They are both in notes and coins. The Naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the Naira. It is a criminal offense to spray the Naira at events. Stop stepping on the Naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the Naira. Handling the Naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the Naira. Love the Naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian.
This message was brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
We're glad to have you back. You're still watching FCT Brief, and we're still discussing the legacies of former President Muhammadu Buhari with youth participation in politics in focus. Now, you were talking about the NSAS protest just before we went on the break. And many young Nigerians feel that government, especially with the use of force, there's a way they could have handled it better, and the outcome of the whole situation, the entire situation at the time. Do you agree with that?
At that time, we had a breakdown in proper communication and understanding between the youth and the government, and that is a fact. That is a fact. I believe the government were too slow in engaging on that issue. They took it as one of those protests that will just happen and go. But we knew that it would not be that case, because these youths had nowhere to go back to. They were not going back to school. They were on strike. They had nothing else to do. They were idle. They were idle. So we knew it. But the government, as usual, underestimated what can happen. They underestimated that protest, and we ended up losing so much. At the end of the day, what did we end up benefiting? I can't even see it. And that's the truth. Number one, the youths themselves forgot the reason why they were protesting. They forgot it. And number two, the government also forgot their responsibility to dialogue and engage with these youths as well. And then this, you see, when somebody is shouting, it's because he wants you to hear him clearly. These young people were shouting. I never supported the protest in the first place. I have to make it clear, because I knew that we were going to lose control. It was too tender at that moment, because if we say we need to engage, it will get to a point that even when you want to engage, it's late. Damage has already been done. I mean, for the first time, we saw people dying in a protest in FCT, not in another state, so here in Abuja. For the first time, that was a very, very scary prospect. It was an issue.
Now, 2027 election is just around the corner. Yes. We just lost a president who was a champion of youth inclusion in politics. Now, going forward, how best do you think the present political parties and the emerging political parties can better engage the youth ahead of 2027? Because a lot of people say the youth may just be the decider of the next president.
I want to make it clear. I am known as the youth Jagaban because I support somebody. I support Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and I think he's doing a good job, and I want him to continue. I am in the APC, and I'm going to go and campaign for the APC, and I want them to continue where they are. I don't want change there. But now, when you're talking about youth participation, I believe that we need to do more about it. How can we go ahead and do this? Can some of these parties please subsidize these forms so that we can be able to do one or two things? Let me give you a secret.
Doesn't that start with your party, the APC? You can.
I am calling on to them too. I am calling on to them too. I am not going to take them out of this. They are also in trouble here on this issue. They need. We can help us, so we cannot afford it. I beg. So what I'm saying to you is this: we need to do that if we want youth to actually feel like stakeholders in what they are going to do next. We have to do it. At this point, we have to. And let me give out an information, a secret that nobody might have known, except maybe a few people. I would say this. In the last election in 2023, I have to commend the ADC because they did a program called the Spartan program, right? Where they gave youths forms for free. I have to say, I was approached. I was given the party card. I think I still have it. It is in my room. I've not even written my name on it. I was also given a form. And that form, you pick what you want to run for and where you want to run for it for free. I remember clearly because my friend, Dumebi Kachuku, he might not be my friend now because I told him I'm not going to support him, I'm going to APC. But Dumebi Kachuku at that time was the person that said I needed to pick a form. He was a presidential aspirant as of that time. Another presidential aspirant at that time was Dr. Chike. Dr. Chike was the person that handed over the form to me, personally, for me to run, because they needed young people that, just to get the party up and running, let the party be popular, and they needed young people like me that has structure, that have, a few relationships and the people behind us and whatnot. They gave it to us for free. And I can assure you, if I wanted to run on that party, funding would have come. from the same presidential aspirant or presidential candidate, why I couldn't do it.
So now that the ADC, I believe that's what you're referring to, is
that was that time. Now they are no longer on that same position.
Well, they're now emerging as a strong political force now ahead of 2027. If you are approached again, do you think that you might reconsider?
No, I will not reconsider.
Also, you have not burnt your card.
I'm telling you, I did not put my name or my picture on it.
But it's there. That means it's still an open entry.
You can affix it.
I cannot. You know, I cannot insult. I cannot insult them because they are a party. You have to give them that regard. And I believe in one thing, right? As long as you are trying to participate in the political process, then you are doing something right. Because anybody, let me make this call out, because the problem that we're having with youth is that they are so disillusioned, they are not interested anymore. We have voter apathy when it comes to youth. They don't care. But I need to let them know, if you are not interested in politics, you have accepted to be ruled the way they want to be to rule you, basically. You have accepted it. You have surrendered. So stop complaining. Stop complaining. If you are not interested, stop complaining. But you have to be interested in your life, in the life of your family, your children, your parents, your country, everything. Because every single thing, I'm saying this, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, when insecurity comes, it will attack everybody. We need to understand.
Okay. Now, Mala Jijiwa, to some, giving tickets out for free is belittling the import of that ticket. The women also are saying a certain percentage should be reserved, certain positions should be reserved for them. The youth are now asking for free ticket. Are we not reducing the import of our political parties and those positions when we begin to do such things?
I'm with you. I believe what you're saying, because you have to add value. It has to have value. Those forms have to have value. So, if they don't have value, then it's not something you can take serious. I'm not saying that they should do it. I said, please subsidize it for us so that we will run. That's what I'm saying. If the party is not going to do it, we have individuals in every party that are financially buoyant, right? That can say, you know what, I'm going to pay for forms for young people between these age to age if they have so qualification to go ahead with it. We need that. Because without it, we can't even do anything. And that's the truth.
Well, let's come back to the legacies of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Some people say he had good intentions, but people around him let him down. Can we really separate a leader from the actions of his team, or does the buck stop at his table?
Okay, let me put it in perspective when it comes to the issue of President Buhari and this notion that people have, all right? There was, I think in 2022, early 2022, there was a book launch that was done in the State House by Dr. Hajusani. She's in the UNICEF now. At that time, she was the SSA Women Affairs and Admin to the President and the Chief of Staff to the First Lady. I was the admin of that book launch in the State House, Aisha Buhari zone. And from there, I started to understand some things. Number one, President Buhari is a special kind of human being that is honest, has integrity, and the problem is that he wants everybody to be like that and believes that everybody is like that. So when he trusts you and he gives you responsibility, he allows you because he feels that the way he is innocent in his heart, you will also be the same. And that is where the problem comes. And that's the truth about President Buhari. And the second notion of stating that Buhari did not know what was happening in Nigeria because he was covered by a cabal. This goes to show you how little people actually know about that man. Because a president has too much resources for him not to know what is happening. You are even giving a president an excuse by saying that he doesn't know. Let us accept that a president knows maybe he did not want to do anything about it, or he failed to do something about it. But that's taking responsibility. We cannot give them that excuse of saying that he didn't know. He didn't know what? He has too much resources not to know. Thirdly, people believe that he was controlled by a certain group of people, a cabal and whatnot. Anybody that knows President Buhari to be one of the most, if not stubborn people in this world, that a human being cannot control him easily. Any human being. So to me, I believe it was just packaged, that whole idea and whatnot was packaged to create an excuse for some lingering issues in the country that were not addressed, and that's it. That's it. But let us be factual. Let us be factual. A president has all the resources to know everything that is happening. Has all the resources to know everything that is happening. He's the president. The president was an army general. He is used to giving orders. He's not used to taking orders.
Okay. Now, the capacity of the late president, like we said earlier, he has this cult followership, about 12 million. Now he's no more. Who do you think will inherit this political structure of the late president, Buhari?
I said earlier, we can never have another Buhari. And the closest person that we have that can be something close to that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After him, I cannot even pinpoint any other politician in this country that can say he has a cult following. Because I know Asiwaju had a cult following for years and years and years and years. In fact, he was a president before he was a president. That's the truth. So he had it. But apart from them, in this country, I don't think it will happen again. It's not possible. Because that man was different.
So where goes the followers of
it is open. It is in the market. Let's go.
Let's get it. President Bola Tinubu has received commendation, especially for his loyalty to his friend, which is Muhammadu Buhari. Now that, with the current realities, we see a lot of agitation, especially from the youth against this same President Bola Tinubu. Do you think in 2027 there is a chance that he might get the support of the youth population?
Not even that there's a chance. He already has it. He has it. It's won. It's over. I don't know what these people are doing in coalition. It's over. They are too late. It's over. It's over. I'm sorry. Next time, come back. But for this one, it's over.
Why? What are your limitations?
Let me break it down for you. Let me give you my reasons, especially with this opposition. Number one, we have a divided opposition. You can go ahead and say maybe APC are people behind it trying to destroy other parties. That's an opinion. But even if that is the case, it is their responsibility to do so. Number one. Number two, up till now, they still don't have a Buhari in them. When they did the merger in APC, already there was a Buhari and there was a Tinubu. Where is their Buhari and where is their Tinubu? The best that they have is Atiku Abubakar, who has a track record of growing election after election after election, and he always does well when it comes to it. But the only issue there now is that the Atiku Abubakar, where is he going to stand? And how are they going to divide it? Are we sure? Are we sure that he will even make it to the poll? And if he makes it to the poll, what backup is he going to have as his vice? Who will it be? Look, they have so much foundation to lay before they can even have a standing chance. Look at it. We have people that have been in government before, and now they are saying that they want to come back to government so that they will repair the country. It's all right. It's good. But at least let them accept the fact that they're the ones that spoiled it. Then we understand that, yes, they can repair it because they know what they did. If we do that, we believe in them. They have integrity.
And if the time will permit me to just ask, is there a gang up of the North against the South ahead of the next election? We've been hearing people say the North wants to stage a comeback. Do you have any idea of that?
It's just sentiment. It is just sentiment. There is no reality there. Of course, naturally, the North has always had a say in the governance of this country. Naturally, they have the population and they have the experience. They have all that, right? We understand it. But I believe that Asiwaju still has enough support in the North to be able to take this thing home. That's the truth. And this ideology that people are creating, saying that the North are against it. I'm a Northerner. I am a Northerner. Am I against him? The people I'm with, are they against him? It's just a motive so that they will tell people and stop others from supporting the man that we say they should support. Because they will tell them, don't even waste your time supporting Asiwaju, because the North will not even vote for him. That it is just propaganda. It is a propaganda. I'm telling you, we have it. Let me tell you what they are doing now. Now they have decided, they have created a program quietly. They are going to remove money and identify a large number of youths from every state in this country, give them certain money for them to create a podcast and a YouTube channel so that they will keep flooding the media space with any information that they choose to. I'm telling you, this is what they want to do now. This is what they want to do now. Well, and the problem with that is that propaganda, whether it is true or it is not. If you hear it from one source, you hear it from another source, you start to believe it. And look at what Donald Trump did. What he's doing by signing all those presidential orders, he is overflooding the scene. So that when you attack him on this particular order he does, he will be able to get away with this other one. And that's what they want to do now.
Umar Jijiwa, it was a pleasure speaking with you this morning. Quite an eye-opener to all your contributions this morning.